When everything in your life seems perfect, it can be easy to forget that in an instant, it can all be taken away. That's exactly what happened to country music star Granger Smith and his family. Before we talk to Granger and his wife Amber, let's hear about the day that changed their lives forever.
Granger Smith was living his dream. Top of the country charts, sold out tours, and a beautiful family. But on one summer day, that all changed. Granger was playing with his daughter in the backyard while his two young boys ran after each other.
I just had this thought, soak up this moment because it's not going to last forever.
Within a couple of minutes, the laughter stopped, leaving an eerie silence. Granger's gut told him something wasn't right, so he went to find his boys. What he found was every parent's worst nightmare.
There wasn't a splash, there wasn't any kind of call for help. I just saw him.
His youngest son, River, had slipped through the pool gate and fell into the water. Granger pulled his son from the pool, but it was already too late. Granger and Amber lost their 3-year-old son that day.
He'll always be with me, and he'll always be in our hearts.
I am so sorry. All of us here are so sorry. Granger and Amber decided to turn their pain into purpose, and they are here to talk all about it. Please welcome to the show, Granger and Amber Smith. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Hi guys. Granger, in your new book, and I have it right here, you compare life and grief to a river, which was actually your son's name. Wow. Can you just describe what you mean by that?
Yeah, it's interesting. We can look at life like a river where it's just always flowing downstream. Sometimes it could go through twists and turns and sometimes deep or shallow or bogged up or rapids. But the reality is it always moves downstream. Our reaction to that is how we respond to it. Do we have our oars? Do we have our paddles? Do we have a mentality of let's choose happiness? What happens when your happiness goes off a waterfall and you can't control the flow of your river? What happens when you can't choose happiness because you literally have no other choice in life? You're at the rock bottom of your river. That's what ended up happening to me. In a place of total surrender, the only thing I could do was completely surrender.
Wow. Just to follow up, what made you want to share this story with the world? And I asked that to both of you.
Yeah, to be honest, and Amber might answer a different way, but through the years, it's been about almost 5 years. And as we told our story, as we were able to empathize with people that have gone through something similar, and if you breathe oxygen on planet Earth, you will go through some kind of grief or loss. If you love anything, then the amount of love you have is also the amount of grief you'll have if you lose them. So if we could help equip somebody with being prepared for that, or maybe help them move forward if they're stuck in that, that's a little bit of healing for me. And so writing a book is really just a larger way to find healing.
Wow.
Let's talk about helping people be equipped, because no one really knows the right thing to say in a situation like this. And in the book, you say that you hate when people ask if everything is okay. Amber, what would you have preferred that they ask you and Granger during this time and even now?
You know, in those beginning days, those first few days and hours and weeks, you really just need to be there with them and sit with them, just be present, just give them a hug, sometimes say nothing. Just cry with them, mourn with them, weep with them. That's what we're supposed to do. And then as time goes on, you just say, we started saying, how's your heart today? Because how you're feeling can change. Like there's waves of grief. Sometimes you're feeling okay, and the next moment you're on the floor again crying. So we would ask each other, how's your heart? And I still say that to friends of mine, how's your heart today? Because we know that when you're walking through grief, that can change at any moment.
That is beautiful.
Granger and Amber, thank you so much for being here today, because I can't even imagine a way out if something like this were to happen to me. So thank you so much for being here. Let's talk about the moment you were reborn in the book, Granger. How did your faith change after River's passing?
It was a moment of surrender. It was a moment of realizing that there are things in life that you cannot control. And if you surrender that, if you can completely surrender that and say, God, You just take control. You have planned this. You have purposed this. I can't affect this in any way. There is such peace and rest in handing that over, and that kind of surrender. That's what I mean about the river, surrendering to the source of the river, because it's flowing downstream, whether we like it or not. We could maybe get our little oars and paddles and try to paddle upstream and try to dam up our edges. But in reality, surrendering to the source and flowing with it downstream is the ultimate form of healing in something like this.
Granger, that is so beautifully said. You're on your final tour right now. Why did you decide to step away from music?
As much as I love music, as much as I have felt healing and playing songs 3 minutes at a time and seeing joy come from people, I just feel like there is a greater message I need to give. And there are too many people out there hurting or stuck or trying to find where their happiness lies. And I feel like through books like this and me being able to get out and free myself up to speak about this, I feel like this is more important than music touring.
Wow. Amen. Wow. Beautifully stated again. Granger and Amber, our hearts are with you. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. DBL Nation, you can grab a copy of Granger's book, Like a River, now wherever books are sold. We thank you too again. Appreciate you both. We'll be right back.
Thank you guys.